Thank you. Hello, guys. Welcome to your. What's the day today? It is Wednesday yoga class. Welcome. Um, we're going to be going through a nice, kind of easy vinyasa flow today. So that means that we'll be moving with our breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. As always, don't do anything that hurts, just work with your body. And at any time, if you want to, then you can just take a child's pose or a downward facing dog to reset. So today, we are going to start on our backs. So just find a laying down position that feels good for you. Maybe that's legs out long, maybe arms out long, or maybe if, like me, you have a very bendy lower back, you might take your feet to the width of your mat and then just let your knees kind of knock in together. And when you've made any final adjustments and you're feeling nice and grounded to the floor, nice and comfortable, then just begin to take your awareness to how your body is feeling today. Acknowledging any areas of tightness that you might be feeling. How are you feeling compared to yesterday? And not passing any judgment on these answers, but just answering them to yourself. And now begin to take your awareness to your breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Feeling how the breath travels through the whole of your body. And the air brushes softly through the nostrils, in and out. And now start to take these breaths just a little bit longer than you would in everyday life. So lengthening out each inhale and lengthening out every exhale. We're going to breathe together, inhaling through the nose and out through the nose. In through the nose, out through the nose. In, breathe out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in together and out together. Finding your own rhythm with your breath. And knowing that if any time throughout our practice today your mind might begin to wander, then just take your awareness back to your deep, deliberate and steady breath. we'll begin to invite a small bit of movement into the body. So keeping the eyes closed, just hug your knees in towards your chest, and maybe just have a small rock from side to side just to lower the massage the lower back here. And then keep hold of the right knee, let the left leg hang long. And then just draw that right knee towards the chest. Maybe shaking it from side to side just to warm up the hip. Remembering to breathe. And then we'll lengthen out that right leg. Right foot points towards the ceiling. Find the back of the thigh here. And then take the toes and point them towards your face, imagining that you are walking on the ceiling. And if you want to intensify the stretch, then just take the back of the calf. And just being mindful that the shoulders are still engaged with the mat here. And then we'll find a half happy baby. So take the right hand, take it onto the outside of the right foot, and then draw that right knee down towards your right armpit. Again, foot is still flat towards the sky, and we're just making sure that every part of our spine is engaged with the mat here. Wonderful. Finding easy twist from here. So take the left hand onto the right knee and just draw it across the left hand side of your body. And then just let that left knee hang down towards the floor, and maybe open out the right arm. Draw that right knee back to center. Give it one last squeeze towards the chest, and then we'll lengthen it down your mat. We'll find this all on the left side. So draw the left knee in towards the chest. Clasp your hands around your shin, and then just draw that knee towards your body. Maybe giving it a small rock from side to side if you did on the other side. Always find that feels really good. And then our hands will find behind the left thigh, point the toes up to start, and then flex them towards your face. Trying to lengthen out that left leg as much as possible, but also being mindful to keep just a little micro bend in that knee. We don't want to lock out our joints in yoga. Half happy baby from here. Grab onto the outside of that left foot. Using your hands to pull that left knee towards your left armpit. And then we'll twist. We'll take the right hand onto the left knee this time. Use it to draw that left knee across your midline. And then maybe take your head and your left hand out to the left. Wonderful. Untwist yourself, draw that left knee in one more time, and then we'll just let it hang down. Lovely. So from here we're going to make our way up into a tabletop position, so you can just use your hands to press you up, or you can join me in doing a few rock and rolls forward and back, building up a bit of momentum. Wonderful. And then we cross over the ankles and we'll come into our tabletop position from here. So tabletop position, we want our back to be nice and flat to the floor, as if you can balance a cup of coffee on it, then we need to make sure, let's just check in that our shoulders are directly above our wrists and our hips are directly above our knees. Take the glance down towards the front of your mat, and then we'll just begin to do some cat-cow. So inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, let your belly fall towards the floor, and then exhale, push the mat away, arch into your spine. I'm going to switch around actually. You carry on. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, let the belly fall towards the mat. And then exhale, arching your spine up like you're a yawning cat. Moving with your own breath, finding that rhythm that works for you. And then using the next few rounds of breath to either carry on with these regular cat-cows or maybe find some more fluid movement in the body. Whatever's calling for you today. That might be figure of eights. That might be big circles. Maybe rolling all the way over the wrists. And perhaps coming into an early sort of child's pose. Anything that feels nice for you today, just to warm yourselves up. And making sure that if you're going in one direction, that you even it up with the other direction. Lovely. From here, we're going to tuck the toes, lengthen out your hands towards the top of your mat, and then slowly draw the hips up towards the ceiling, coming into our first downward facing dog of today. So start off by taking one heel up, whilst the other one is down, and just gently walking out our dog. Maybe even swishing the hips from side to side. Making sure here that your fingers are nice and spread, all fanned out. And then we'll find stillness in our downward facing dog. There's probably going to be a nice generous bend in the knees to start with, and as we get warmer, then the heels will kind of tend to get a little bit closer towards your mat here. From here, we're going to find our plank. So inhale, come up onto the tops of your toes, snake forward. Make sure we're not dipping the hips down. We're bringing the hips up with one nice long piece of wood here. Hollowing out our shoulders, glancing to the top of your mat. Squeezing your glutes and squeezing your thighs. Remembering to breathe. And then we'll exhale, take the seat towards the sky. Back in our downward facing dog. And from here, we're going to bend the knees lots, look to the top of your mat, and then take lots of little baby steps, maybe 8 to 10, until we meet together in a nice, generous forward fold at the front of our mat. Knees are bent enough for the tummy to just rest on top of the thighs. And here we're just going to hang heavy, maybe taking hold of both of your elbows with your hands and just rocking from side to side. And then releasing the grip if you do have it, stacking each vertebrae one at a time, still nice and heavy. Shoulders come up, and then the last thing to arrive is your head. Lovely. Maybe coming into your Tadasana, your mountain pose. At the top of the mat, feet are either together or hip width apart. Hands are pointing forwards and fingertips are pointing down. Just close off the eyes, come back to that breath. In through the nose and out through the nose. We'll flicker the eyes open. Inhale, sweep your arms high. Find that prayer above your head. And then exhale, swan dive down. Hands find the floor, forward fold. Inhale for your halfway lift. Exhale, hands find the floor, forward fold. Inhale, big step back with the right foot. Look forward, runner's lunge. And then exhale, slowly draw the left foot back to meet the right. Hips go high, downward facing dog. Inhale, slowly roll forward to your plank. And then exhale, we're going to drop the knees. Chest is in between your hands. And then we're going to sweep forward, push the tops of your feet down, squeeze the shoulders, baby cobra. And then exhale, tuck your toes, take the seat back to the heels, hips go high, downward facing dog. Inhale, step the right foot in between your hand, look forward, runner's lunge. Exhale, left foot meets it, forward fold. Inhale, we're finding our halfway lift again. And then exhale, hands find the floor, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping your arms high, reaching with that prayer. And then exhale, swan dive down, hands find the floor, bend the knees as much as you need to. Inhale, we're finding our flat back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, hands find the floor, forward fold. Inhale, big step back with the left, look forward, bend that right knee. Exhale, gracefully take the right foot back to meet the left, hips go high, downward facing dog. Inhale, slowly snaking forward in your plank, and then exhale, drop the knees, chest, chin to the floor, that wonderful back bend. Inhale, sweep forward, push your feet down, squeeze your shoulders. And then exhale, tuck the toes, take the seat to the heels, hips go high, we'll bubble back in our downward facing dog. Inhale, step the left foot forward. Help it if you need to here, guys. Exhale, take the right foot to meet it, forward fold. Inhale, find your flat back, look down. And then exhale, hands find the floor, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping your arms high, maybe finding a mini back bend here when you're reaching the prayer. And then exhale, straight back down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, prepare. Exhale, hands find the floor. Inhale, big step back with the right foot, look forward, runner's lunge. And then exhale, take the left foot to meet it, hips go high, back in our downward facing dog. Inhale, slowly roll forward to your plank, and this time I'm going to invite you to join me in vinyasa if you would like to. But knees, chest, chin is completely fine if not. Lovely. Inhale, step the right foot in between your hands. This time we're going to drop the left knee to the mat, and we're going to find a half Hanuman, so that's a half split here. So you might want to creep the right foot out towards the front a little bit more. Aiming to get the hips just stacked above our knees. And as you can see, I've got a mirror here. You can see that to the hips. We're trying to draw the left hip around to centralize out the hips to the front. Try not to hunch over like this, over the leg, but try and keep a lovely long spine here. And if you do find a bit more depth, then you can always creep the hands forward. Maybe not today. Breathing into this lovely hamstring stretch. Wonderful. We're going to rebend that right knee, come up onto the left toes, look forward, runner's lunge again. And then exhale, take that left foot to meet the right, forward fold from here. Inhale, halfway lift, prepare. Exhale, hands find the floor, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping your arms high, reaching as high as you can with that prayer. And then exhale, sweeping your hands back down, finding your forward fold from here. Inhale, halfway lift, look down to the mat. Exhale, hands find the floor, forward fold. Inhale, big step back with the left foot, look forward, bend the right knee. And exhale, gracefully take that right foot to meet the left, coming back into your downward facing dog. And then we're inhaling, coming forward into our plank. And then either exhaling, coming down into your vinyasa, or your knees, chest, chin here. We'll meet back. Exhaling into our downward facing dog. Wonderful. Inhale, step the left foot forward in between your hands. And as the same on the other side, we're going to drop the right foot, maybe creeping that left foot out a little bit further, especially if you do have long legs. And then we'll inhale, lengthen out the spine, come onto the tops of the fingers. Point those toes up towards the ceiling. And if you want to come further into it, then maybe just either press the hands down, maybe even the forearms if you have it in your body today. Drawing that right hip forward, centralizing out our hips. Wonderful. Rebending that left knee, coming up onto the tops of that right foot, still looking forward in our runner's lunge. And then we'll exhale, draw that right knee to meet the left, forward fold from here, guys. Inhale for a halfway lift, look down, and exhale, hands find the floor, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping those arms high, maybe finding a mini back bend, and then exhaling straight back down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, prepare yourselves. Exhale, hands find the floor, forward fold. Making your own way back into your downward facing dog. So taking as many steps as you'd like. And as I said before, maybe now a warmer, you might find that your heels are further towards the mat. Squeeze your armpits in towards your midline, fan the fingers, and imagine that we are drawing our tummies towards our thighs. Wonderful. With your next inhale, draw that right foot up towards the ceiling, three-legged dog. Try and bring that right hip down a little bit so our hips are nice and even towards the mat. And then with your next exhale, draw that right knee towards your chest. Hover it for a second and then place it in between your hands at the top of the mat. Setting ourselves up here for our high lunge. So coming onto the tops of the left toes, bending lots into that right knee. And slowly drawing our torsos up, reaching the fingertips high. And if we want to challenge ourselves more, then just simply bending more into that right knee, Staying with the breath. And with our next exhale, we're going to open out into our warrior two. So take the arms out into a T position. Find a minute to just set yourselves up. Heels are in one nice long line. Right knee is bending forward. Left toes are at a 45 degrees angle. Just checking in on your alignment. And imagining that we are drawing that right thigh out towards the right-hand side of our bodies. Wonderful. From here, we're going to find our side angle. So bend at the right knee, hinge at our hips, and find the right elbow onto the tops of our right knee here. Now, we don't want to collapse the body into our knee like this. We're just simply going to place that elbow just above the knee there. And if you want to go a bit further, then maybe you'll find your right palm onto the inside of the right foot. Thinking about drawing that left hip back at the same time as drawing that left shoulder back here. Staying with the breath. Pushing down onto that left foot to help us draw ourselves back up into our warrior two. Look forward, one breath here, then we'll peaceful from here. So flip the right palm, reach forward, reach back with the left, side bending here, and then exhale, windmilling the hands to frame the foot, coming onto the tops of the left toes, look forward, runner's lunge, and then as gracefully as you can, sweep that right foot back, come into your downward facing dog, and then flow through your vinyasa of choice. So that's either your chaturanga to your up dog, Or that's your knees, chest, chin into your baby cobra. Wonderful, guys. Resetting here. With your next inhale, we're going to take that left foot towards the sky. Even out the hips as we did on the other side. And then with your next exhale, draw that left knee towards your nose. Try and give it a bit of a kiss. And then place it in between your hands. Always find to assist it if you need to. And then we'll set ourselves up here for our high lunge. So slowly drawing your torso up. Checking in with your alignment again. Drawing that right hip forward. Both hips are pointing towards the front of the room. Reaching up with those fingertips and sucking that tummy in. Opening out into our warrior two. Making any adjustments that you need to, as you can see I am. Taking your time to get into your perfect warrior two. And being mindful that the left knee is tracking directly forwards. Wonderful. Feeling nice and grounded in both of your feet here, opening out the hips. And then finding our side stretch, side bend from here, side angle. Bending at the left elbow, hinging with the hips, slowly coming down, placing that left elbow just above the left knee, not on the knee joint, and then reaching up with those right fingertips. So our legs are still in our warrior two stance. And again, if you want to take that left hand onto the inside of that left foot, by all means go for it. Draw that right shoulder back and that right hip back. Wonderful. Using your feet to guide you back up to that warrior two. Coming back up. Then finding your peaceful warrior, flipping your left palm, reaching forward with the hand, reaching back with the right fingertips. Side bending here, being mindful that it's not a back bend, but a side stretch. Windmilling the hands, look forward in your runner's lunge, and then gracefully take that left foot back to meet your right. We're coming back into our downward facing dog, and then we're rolling forward, flowing through your vinyasa of choice, or if you don't feel like it, then just resting in your downward facing dog or resting in your child's pose from here. Wonderful. Coming back to your breath. With your next inhale, come onto the tops of your toes, snake your body forward. And then we're going to use a lot of strength to bring our bodies down in one straight line towards the mat. So we're going to bend your elbows in towards your body like a chaturanga, and then come down in one long straight line. Wonderful. And when you arrive on your mat, then just taking your right ear to the mat. Arms are out long by the sides of your body. Bringing the heart rate down here. Taking your forehead to meet the mat, and then we'll set ourselves up for a regular cobra pose here. So make sure that your hips and the tops of your feet are engaged with the mat, and then we're going to take our hands just to the side of our ribs. Push your hips down, push your feet down, and then slowly draw your torso up. And we don't want to be using too much of our palms here, so they're just there for a light support. Breathing, finding more depth in your cobra, pushing down with the feet, pushing down with the hips. Broadening out your collarbones and just looking forward here. We'll have 2 more breaths coming into your fullest expression. And with your next exhale, release your face down to the mat. Take the left ear onto your mat this time. Arms are out long. Nice, take the forehead down towards the mat. This time we're going to squeeze the thighs, squeeze all of the legs together and the feet. Wonderful. We're going to turn our palms down to be engaged with the mat. And then we're going to just start by pushing our hips and our hands down this time. Wonderful. And then we want to imagine that our feet are being pulled back by a piece of string. And when they can't be pulled back anymore, they might begin to raise off the mat. And as the legs raise off, the front body begins to raise off, finding this wonderful kind of C curve with the body, and maybe even the hands will come off the mat, fingertips are reaching back. Breathing here, finding a little bit more depth, kicking back, reaching forward with the crown. And then exhale, release your right ear to the mat here. And then slowly, in your own time, no rush at all, we're just going to come to lay on our backs now. So here we're going to be coming into our bridge pose. So bridge pose, feet are engaged with the mat. Your feet are about a hip width apart, and your heels are close enough to your bum that you can just about swish them with your fingertips. Hands are by the sides of your hips, engage with the floor as well. And then we're going to push our feet, push our hands into the mat, and then slowly peel our hips off the floor. Draw them up towards the sky. Squeeze your glutes. We're going to do 2 rounds of this, so if you're not coming into your deepest back bend yet, then no worries at all. You'll find that the chest comes towards your chin here as you push the ground away. And then with your next exhale, we're just going to release your hips to the floor. Maybe swish the legs from side to side like windscreen wipers. And then set yourself up for another round of your bridge. Make any adjustments needed. Push the mat away and draw the hips up towards the ceiling. And if you want to intensify your bridge, then creep the shoulder blades closer together. Really feel that back bend. And if you want to go even further, then maybe clasping your hands, finding a fist, and using this fist to push your hips up further. Making sure here that the knees are not knocking out to the sides, but we've still got that feeling that we're sort of drawing the knees in towards one another. 2 more big breaths up here. And then releasing the clasp if you do have it, slowly, slowly letting the hips melt towards the floor. And when you arrive back, taking one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. Just feeling as the heart rate comes down. Perfect. From here, we're going to come into our full happy baby. So draw the knees in towards the sides of the armpits, and then simply just take hold of the outside of your feet. Imagine we're walking on the ceiling again. And just being mindful here that every part of your spine, all the way up to your neck, from your tailbone to your neck, is engaged with the floor. Might want to rock the baby if that feels nice, just from side to side. Beautiful. Hug the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a nice squeeze. And then we'll simply just extend the legs upwards, feet point towards the ceiling, arms out by the sides, and then just take those toes and flex them towards you. This might be quite an intense stretch for you. Might even begin to shake a little bit like me. And then using your core muscles, we're just going to release your legs down nice and slowly. And then we'll finish with a twist. So take your knees in towards you, hug them in, and then just let them hang to the right hand side of your body, maybe swishing your left hips over to, maybe swishing your hips over to the left a bit, just to make sure that you are nice and straight on your mat. And when you arrive in your twist, taking your arms out into a T shape, and perhaps taking your head out to the left-hand side. Using your core to draw your knees back up. Then rearrange yourself, so taking your hips over to the right, drawing the knees in, and then just letting them hang over to the left. And if you did on the other side, then maybe take your arms out into a T position and head falls to the right. Slowly unravel yourself, bring the knees back up to the center. Giving yourself a nice hug just for the last time. And this time we're gonna squeeze ourselves into a tightest little ball that we can. So taking your forehead towards the knees, squeezing every muscle in your body as tight as you can. And then with your next exhale, release every muscle. Coming into your final resting pose, your Shavasana, your well-deserved Shavasana. Maybe putting on any extra items of clothing if you might get a bit chilly here. Making any final adjustments. And just feel as you melt into your mat. Slowly drawing your awareness back to the space that you are in. Inviting small bits of movement by just wriggling your toes and your fingers. And then giving yourself some rolls in the wrists and the ankles in both directions. And maybe taking the opportunity to have the biggest stretch of your day, full body stretch, taking your hands behind you, reaching in opposite directions. And then carefully rolling to the right hand side of your body, drawing your knees up, landing in your fetal position, using your upper arm as a pillow here. And then using your left palm to guide you up to a seated position. Trying to keep the eyes closed off here. And when you arrive, taking the tops of the hands onto the tops of the knees, palms are facing up. And we'll finish today's practice by taking 3 grounding breaths together. We'll inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Let everything go. Not only the breath, but anything that no longer serves you. Taking your hands at prayer mudra, placing at your heart center, and then bowing your forehead towards your prayer. Taking this moment to acknowledge your practice, to say thank you to everyone else that's joined us today. And I would like to say thank you for letting me be your guide. Together we say, Namaste.